I'm going to make this short and sweet. I am challenging two companies. If these companies can't back up their claims, they run the risk of basically facing a 20-year prison sentence and some very serious fines. So I'm challenging Partay's screen paint products, Partay AV, period, squarespace.com. And the other one is under, I think, Crow's screen paint mix, I think, .com. I looked that up. But anyway, they're being challenged on their companies. Now, as I said before, these two people made, and actually there's another one too on top of that, made false accusations against my company claiming I was doing all these things. Gentlemen, after this video, you'll be posting another video basically restating that I give you 2 weeks to put these claims against my company, as you said they are. You said that I'm scamming, products are black paint, that I've been ripping people off, that my stuff works, all this stuff at the end of the day that you claim me to be. So I'm giving you 2 weeks, 2 weeks to have a lawyer reach out to me and bring my company to court on the accusations and proof that you say that I'm committing these crimes, these acts. If you not do so and nothing happens in 2 weeks, we hit you. And I mean extremely hard, I'll hit you. Right now, the first, to show you that I'm not playing any games with you, first shots will be fired as I'm coming after your company. I already got enough. We just came back from the police station, so everything's filed in. Mr. Williams, you have criminal charges now filed against you. Have an instant report. We have your email address. We have your address where you live at. We also, too, have the letter that you sent out. Your handwriting's directly on it. And also, too, we have multiple emails that were sent to our business account with information of you calling us scammers and everything else under the book. So, yeah, you're locked in already. Now, as for the other two that made these false accusations about my company, I'm going to be popping over to the FBI. There's a section there for companies who commit fraud that I can report you right to, and we can have you present all the evidence needed. Now, Jamie, you don't have anything at the end of the day. Let's put it this way. You already messed up. I sent you a certified letter giving you the opportunity to prove me to be this scammer at the end of the day, and you've never sent me anything back at all whatsoever. So you're already screwed. You're done. And your company's already screwed because, again, we can show that you committed perjury very easily because your documents are stating that your company has only been around a short time, and we can show receipts, orders, unboxings, everything to show that you've been around quite longer than that. So you're already screwed. So this is not for you. And on top of that, giving you the chance to clear your name, we gave you that one already with the black paint, and you never sent it out. So you're screwed. So this doesn't pertain to you. We already did that for you, so you're done. It won't take much to get you prosecuted. As for Mr. Danny, on the other hand, yeah, I'm giving you the option to remove this off your site before I basically come after your company. So you have something called range gain on your site, which if you can't back this up, it's considered to be fraud. So, you can't go in and tell customers if they paint their screen and two different, well, I don't know how you would paint it, but anyway, if you paint the screen and it's slightly in a different application that it's going to change the gain of the screen, you don't have you don't have no way to back this up. So from what I've seen already from the videos that this is linked to, this is actually going back to the very videos that show you how to paint the screen, and it doesn't say anything about range gain in there, period. So you need to remove this off your site because this is not real. As for your products not being tested, yeah, we can actually challenge that too because none of your products are tested. But this range gain thing is going to get you in a lot of trouble because, again, you can't make this accusation if you can't back it up because that's false. Get a lawyer, contact them, and explain to them what we're challenging you on, and see if basically that lawyer won't tell you at the end of the day that you're going to have to back that up in court because if you can't back it up, you can get sued for it. So you state here that approximate gain range, I got that mix of range gain range, where it is, 0.80 to 0.85 can vary slightly based upon application technique. Now, I've heard you say this before. I heard you say, and I've got it on recording, I heard you say that in the goopity goop, you said if you paint the screen the fifth time, it gets slightly brighter. I've also heard you say that the reason why you were selling this watered down paint to customers is because the water acts as a delivery system, and without the water, the paint would evaporate. Now, mind you, that's what I bought my second cell phone for. I was going to buy your product. We're going to stick it up there on a 24-hour stream so we're not messing with it, drain the can, and see what happens. And guess what he did? He changed and got another product. See? But this time you're going to be in a lot of trouble because, again, you put something in called range gain, and you have to be to back this up. See, and if you think at the end of the day you can't be prosecuted for this, yes, you can. I told you about the whole Epson and Valve thing that went on when Valve claimed that their projectors were 5,000 lumens. And Epson called bullcrap on it, said, no, you're not. You're not 5,000 lumens. Now, mind you, Epson's an expert in the field of projection, all right? They can look at this and call bullcrap. So again, they took them to court, and Valve projectors lost. They're 1,800. So that's misleading the customer. So if I'm a customer and I'm buying this product from you, and I ask you, how do we get this higher gain? What technique do we do to paint the screen to get this higher gain? Can you tell me this? I asked you this question multiple times, and you've never replied back one time on this range gain nonsense. There's other things on your site, again, other lies we can see right here. You claim your product is a rear projection technology. I haven't seen any rear demonstrations at all. As a matter of fact, we can't find any tests or anything in this product. Another thing your product company is being challenged on is the fact that you made statements that your products are not made over the counter, that these are raw chemicals that you are using to make your products. You state right here, you can sit there and say, well, I never said raw chemicals. You said that the Partay premium screen paint products, PSP, are made from scratch and not from over the counter. This is a chemical you're talking about here. This isn't bake mix or cookies or pies. This is an actual chemical you're making here. So you're saying it's not over the counter. So if it's not over the counter and it's not over counter chemicals, where are these chemicals coming from? See, this is what got you in some trouble too. See right here? You have it right here. Partay's premium screen paint, PSPs, are made from scratch and not over the counter. So where are you getting chemicals at to make your products that are not over the counter? If you're making it from scratch, questions are going to pop up and say, okay, do you have a chemistry background? Do you have the licensing to have these particular chemicals in? Do you have the unit and the establishment to have these chemicals? Do you have proper disposal units that come out to pick up the chemicals and containers on it? You can't put that stuff in everyday trash. You have to have special trash cans that have to be zoned for all of this. So they're going to ask for all these questions because you put something on there that you shouldn't put on there. Now, if you said that she made it from scratch, all right, and everything is over the counter, then guess what? You can say that, but you can't say that it's not over the counter. Because if it's not over the counter, where are you getting these raw elements to make these products? That will get you in some trouble right there. A lot of serious trouble, and I mean serious trouble. Then you'll have people coming out to your house. Zoning will be at your house, and they'll be looking for this facility that you put on here that you claim that you have, because you have to have something there to make it. You're not. How are you making this stuff? This is going to bring you a great deal of woes to your front door. So this is one of the things that I bought at first. When I contacted this place, I explained to them exactly what I'm going to be filing these complaints for and if I can do this. And yes, you have to show how and what facilities you're using, what testing, what safety material data sheets and all that stuff you have. Your stuff's going through flash zones. It's been tested. Mind you, you're shipping stuff to the United States Postal Service. You have an untested chemical, which means that anything could happen. It could be heat, it could be an implosion, it could be anything that could trigger it off to explode. You didn't think about that, did you? Yeah. So pretty much everything that's over the counter has already been tested. All that stuff has safety material data sheets all over it. It's all been tested. You're claiming you have something that's never been over the counter, so that makes it a little bit more scarier. So this will get you a lot of trouble. And you'll see agents pop at your house like they're being dressed for a bomb squad, because you are shipping, and how dangerous this is, you are shipping an unstable chemical. Now, do I believe that he's shipping unstable chemical? Nah, because he doesn't have the intelligent level, like I said, to actually develop something like that, you know. And on top of that, consider the fact that these chemicals at the end of the day cost more than 60 bucks. A lot more than 60 bucks. Heck, you could even get the hazmatic helmet for $60. So, yeah, no. He's just making this statement to make it sound like his product is completely different than everybody else's, and he's not. He doesn't have his stuff over the counter. His stuff is made differently. No, your stuff is made like everybody else. That's what it is. So anyway, yeah, we're gonna report this right here. Now I'm giving you 3 days to remove this off your account. 3 days to get rid of this. 3 days to get rid of these dummies right here, because these are dummies. These don't even exist at all, period. There's no testing. Videos that we pulled up were videos not attached to these. They were attached to the other products that you had. These have no videos attached to them at all, period. So these are dummies. This one right here is not a dummy. And also to this whole range gain nonsense, that is fake. You have it on just about everything here. Got it there, talking about range gain. And then you click on this video right here, where it shows you this is the base upon application technique, how to do it. And this will lead you to the original paint on demonstration. There's no other videos underneath that. It's just this one. And then we saw this video. This video, actually I played this video. It explains nothing about range gain. Not a thing. It just shows you painting the screen down and then transfer it onto a table where you paint it again. And on top of that, it's still a little disturbing with the painting demonstration, because in the painting demonstration, you clearly tell people, you know, if your paint is on a gray surface, you might want to paint the surface black because you use less paint. No, you have less noticeable the product pushing through. That's what it is, because it took forever for you to paint the screen, and that, you know, that's you at the end of the day. On top of that, the reason why it took forever is because every time you wrote the screen, it wasn't covering. We could clearly see that in the demonstration, that your screen wasn't covering too well. Right about, let me see here. We have your product changing colors too, also too, in this video demonstration. So, right, let me see where we're at. There we go. So see right here, this is where you have problems with your product not performing well. See all those little white specks all over the screen right there? That comes, this is the white, this is the gray surface. That's the gray surface pushing through. So whatever complications he was having here, he was definitely having on the side. That's why it took him so long. And even through the multiple rolls that you did over the screen, it really didn't help, because you could still see it pushing through. On top of that, your screen had really bad imperfection. It had freaking bumps and lines, and there were these like skin-like textures. This is what I don't understand either. I just gotta run this back real quick. How do you have a screen that starts off black here, but ends up gray here? It's gray. Like, your screen is changing colors. This is another problem too, that your screen isn't really doing what it's supposed to do. But we'll get your product here. I can't get it because you'll cancel my order, but I got some friends that'll be picking it up. They'll have it, and they're going to contact you about the range gain. They're going to ask you how to do this. See this? See, that container you put back was black. That's gray. As a matter of fact, I don't know what this is going on here. It's whatever didn't mix well right there, but you can see it's two colors there. But that container that you just pulled out and just mixed, it was black inside that container. See? It's black in the container, but it's gray here. See, that's nasty. That has nothing to do with your line. Just a bad product. You can tell it's a bad product. I mean, just see how many times you roll over top that screen, and it just doesn't do any good at all. You see all those white little spots popping up? That's the original screen on the other side pushing through. That's where all the white spots are coming through. That's a horrible product. So we basically can challenge this: is your product tested? Look at that. Look how bad that looks. That is the Previous paint pushing through. That's what you're seeing. Now, this would be a problem if someone paints this on their wall. Say if they have a blue wall, they have a red wall, a green wall, whatever they may have, and they paint this stuff down. What's going to happen is the previous color of your wall is going to push right through. So you're going to see all little green spots, blue spots, or red spots. You're going to be able to see that. Now, Danny, if you're saying that I'm lying about this, you literally sit there and say in the video that you suggest customers to paint the surface black. All right? See if I'm lying about this.
Put it back in my storage area and I dropped it and it went everywhere. And now it was a pain just in the sense that I was frustrated and didn't feel like cleaning it up. But it cleans up. Did your proceeding roll? What I mean. So here's one I'd already done the first coat. And this is on a light. That's why I recommend that you use black, because you're going to use less material. This is a light gray that I painted it on.
So what difference does it make what you painted on? You paint it on purple, green, red. What difference does it make? The problem is that whatever's in your paint, and I guarantee it's water in there. It's very, very thin. The last product you made, the Goopity Goo, had a lot of water into it, a lot of water. As a matter of fact, somebody pointed out in the video, when you move the container back, when the light hit the container, you can literally see the separation. You can literally see how much water was in there. So you were selling your customers about this much paint. I said half a quart of paint. That's what you were selling to them. And the rest of it was all water. So with this paint is very thin and it looks like it's weak, extremely weak. Whatever is in it, it's not allowing the black to basically gravitate toward the paint and make it dark. It's causing it to separate. And you do advise customers to paint the surface black. It's not because you're going to use less paint. You're just going to see less of whatever may be pushing through.
Did your proceeding roll? What I mean. So here's one I'd already done the first coat. And this is on a light. That's why I recommend that you use black, because you're going to use less material. This is a light gray that I painted it on.
How are you going to use less material if you use black paint? You still got to paint over the surface, don't you? Because the black paint, that doesn't even make any sense. Literally, do you guys even think when you speak at the end of the day, do you honestly think, how would you be using less paint if you paint the surface black first? You're still going to have to paint over it. If I paint the wall over here black, right? And I say, okay, we paint the wall black and we use our paint and we're going to use less paint. You do know that any surface, because our technology basically shows the difference between black paint and our product, that any surface that's not covered over with our technology is going to show this really dark spot that's going to pop up because it can't receive a white level. So that means you would have to cover the whole surface, which means you would use the same amount of paint if the surface was blue, green, red, or orange. This is what I mean, that you guys get on camera and you just talk that Mickey Mouse nonsense. Man, you remove the stuff off your site that doesn't belong on there. If not, I'm going to challenge your company in court. That's what's going to happen. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life just now. So if this stuff is pushing through, guess what? And it's coming up gray. This is going to be awful. I got a funny feeling this is going to be really bad when my buddy paints his screen in. Because if this stuff is not taking that and he's going over the screen, if your walls, oh gee whiz, if your walls are a different color, that means whatever color your walls are going to be, it's going to push through this paint. And you're going to see little fragments of your colored wall pushing through your screen. Now, if he wants you to paint it black, you paint it black, the color is going to come up gray. As you can see, it's not black, it's gray. It's changing colors. So you're going to have this kind of marble or zebra or striped or whatever the heck is going to be going on your wall that's going to come up in these multicolors. Not multicolors, but it's going to show black on the background, and you're going to see this gray pop up because the screen doesn't change to black, it changes colors, and you're going to see these multi-little imperfections. Now, Danny, I'm going to buy your product. I'm going to buy your product, and I'm willing to do 4 colored walls to see how fast that stuff, and how many applications it takes to make those 4 color walls disappear. I'll run your stuff through the test. Because this is going to come to court. I'll get more. If you want the kind of, as I told you at the end of the day, that I did give you option to challenge my company. If you don't, I said it's going to be pretty bad for you. And what I mean by pretty bad, Danny, I'll buy your stuff and I'll test it. I'll have other people buy it. We'll get it down here. We'll put it against colored walls. We'll see exactly how much of that stuff pushes through a wall. How many times I have to apply that application. We'll test everything on it. You've seen the brutal testing I put my stuff through. You'll go through the exact same thing. It'd be bad. I'm just telling you. I can tell by looking at it already it'd be bad. And then we could use that evidence against you in court also too to further your punishment. That you basically launched an untested product to the consumers without proper testing. So, if you got some options here, you could remove this stuff off your site and you could go in and basically show proper testing of your products. I've seen your paint this thin. You have the screen laying on the ground. What happens if the customer decides that they want to paint this to the wall or paint this to a screen? How much of a splatter effect is this stuff going to actually give off? Because it's very thin. Even poly, even stain splatters. So if you're saying your stuff is splatter proof, we'll test that. Everything you may claim, we'll test it. Even the range gain, we'll test it all. I got equipment coming in to test the FLE because we can't use regular meters on it outside in direct sunlight. They won't pick up. Our meters have to be somewhere between 100,000 lux to read. So we can test it on your stuff. So we'll test your stuff, like I said. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to give you, when we take you to court, we don't want to give you any options to be able to speak. I want to be able to seal everything. So when you walk into that courtroom, there is no possibility of you ever winning anything. And that's how I like to win my court cases. I gather information, I gather evidence. Anything you say against me, you can't say nothing against me. I've given you the option to take my company to court if I was a fraud. And if you don't do it, then this is going to get you in a lot of trouble. His fate is already sealed. We sent him a letter. We gave him permission to send out black paint to us. He never went out and did it. Guess what? There's nothing he can do in court to defend himself. He's screwed. He locked his, he sealed himself into a glass coffin, and there's no way for him to get out, and he's running out of air. So there's no way he can get out of that. We gave him the option. So I'm giving you the option. I'm giving you one option to remove this stuff off your site because it's not real. It's fake. And you've been lying to your customers. And if you don't, I'm going to follow and move forward. I'm basically following against your company. All right. So move it off your site. I'm not barking and I'm not commanding. I'm not coming, you got to do that. I'm not doing it at the end of the day. I'm being polite when I say this. Remove it off your site, or I'll go the next step and I'll follow against your company. Now, keep in mind, you're already going to be going to court already because I have multiple demonstrations of you calling me a scammer and all this other stuff. As you said I was ripping people off. You have 2 weeks to take my company to court because you said you have all this evidence of me doing all this stuff, right? I'm this scammer at the end of the day, right? That's what you claim, right? So since I am, you take that evidence and you bring me to court. And you don't, in 2 weeks, I'm going to hit you again. And this is going to be personal because now I'm going to sue you. And then I'm going to press file criminal charges against you next. That'll be the next thing. This is when it becomes personal. Right now, I'm just going for your company. So, gentlemen, you have to get this together. This is not a joke. I'm not playing here. I'm dead serious. Just get it off your site. You don't have to have it on there. If it's not real, if you have a way of backing it up, show us some demonstrations on this. We would love to see it. I would love to see it. I'm pretty sure everybody would love to see it, or remove it. Now, I'm going to tell you something, people. This is how sad this is going to be. This man's probably going to get in 20 years in jail. He's going to get some time anyway for the dumb stuff he's already did. He's going to be sued anyway. But he's probably going to, he's going to do a Titanic. He's going down with the ship. And I'll tell you why. Because people like this are so full of so much pride that they market their product. They didn't do any testing. They didn't do anything at all. They just came in and talked all this nonsense. They built this super hype product up. And now they got to chop it down a little. And they can't do that because that would hurt them. Especially somebody against me at the end of the day who's challenging them and telling you need to take this down. And they're not going to listen to me at all, period. And I don't expect them to. I don't expect them to listen to anything else. I don't expect them to remove anything off the site. I don't expect them to. I expect for me to go in to that particular unit in FBI, file a report of fraud against their company and challenge them in court, and they're going to go down with the ship. This man's going to probably do 20 years because he's going to refuse to remove it off his site. Now, mind you, before they even I don't know if this is even going to work out that way because I can't even call that in the day. They could give you a warning and tell you have to remove it or remove your entire website for good. A lot of things could come up. Or they could give you time. Who knows what's going to happen in the courtroom. Courtroom's a mixed bag of what could happen. But it is going to happen, so you know. You see this section right here, over there? This is where I'm going to be putting you at. You got 3 days. 3 days, and I file against your company. 3 days, that's all you have. It should only take you 3 days to remove that off your site. It's the best way to do it, man. Be honest at the end of the day. You know, you're not gonna gain any followers or love at the end of the day if you're ripping people off. You have to be to back this up. Because again, you think I'm the only one that's going to ask about range gain? If you have any customers, and we know you don't have customers, so I haven't seen anybody yet because I was trying to find somebody who didn't run into the paint changing colors or basically can explain this range gain stuff to us, which he can't explain. So I'm hoping somebody else can, and we can't find any customers. So if you do get one, and you probably have my friends, which will be buying it because we need it for testing, they're going to ask you the question. They're going to email you, and they're going to ask you the question, how do you achieve the range gain? And you're going to have to give them something. Because if not, at the end of the day, this is going to be used against you as evidence in court. All right. Making stuff up. You can't make stuff up on your site. Let's see. Epson sues Valve for fake specifications. There, right there. I don't want to sit there and lie about it. It's true. They got sued. Valve Protector got sued because they went in and made. It's Epson sued. They should have been sued Valve Protectors. Yeah, for their specifications. Can't say yourself it's 5,000. No, you lose your freaking mind. That's one thing I don't understand, how these companies come out with these fake projectors and why they pass this stuff. Is anybody in here freaking is anybody in here basically monitoring any of this stuff? See, Epson files a lawsuit against Valve for overrating their projector. They made a statement that their projector was 5,000 lumens when they first came out, and Epson was like, no, you're not 5,000 lumens. See, if you're used to looking at 5,000 lumens, and I'm used to seeing a 5,000 lumen projector, I call that stuff crap a long time ago. Yeah, because we challenged them. We went into their site and had a conversation with them, and that's when we found out the projector was a 1080p base projector. So those of you who bought that projector, you bought a projector that was a 1080p base projector. But they challenged them on another thing. See, pixel shifting, I love this so much at the end of the day. Where people swear up and down, they say, oh, we got 4K. You don't have 4K, you got compress. That's what you got. You don't even have enough pixels to reach 150 inches. You don't, because where would you get the extra pixels to compress? So basically, yeah, Epson went in and filed a lawsuit against Valve, and they lost for overstating their projector. They were claiming that their projector was a whopping 5,000 lumens, and it wasn't. Oh, sorry, 6,000. Yeah, they lost. Can't go around doing stuff like this. This stuff can get you in a lot of trouble for doing this stuff. So just like they came out and they came after Epson for making this false accusation. I'm sorry, Valve for making this false accusation that they were basically no, they're mistaken. They're saying, sorry, 6,000, sorry, 6,000, but their projector literally came up to be, let me see. It came up to be, they were claiming to be 6,000. But they're actually somewhere between 25 to 1,800 lumens. That's what their projector was coming up to be. And they got sued. So, guess what I can do? I can challenge you, Danny. I can challenge your company in a court of law that your range gain is not real. And that's something you can't back up. So also too, I can also challenge the fact that you made statements that your product all your products are made from scratch and not over the counter. These are chemicals that you are making and producing. So I can challenge you on that too. So you have 3 days to remove, or I begin the process of filing a complaint for fraud against your company. So companies will challenge you. Now, you wanted to challenge my company, do you? You made statements that my technology comes up too dark, it's unwatchable, my stuff matches all this black paint. Would you want me? I can give you the challenge of basically sending me black paint. Do you want that one too? I'm wondering because I can make it worse if you want. I can do the same thing I do to you, I did to Jamie. Okay, just wondering. If you want that one, I'll give it to you. I got no problem. Because I'll use that against you in court also too. All right, so, because I don't like to say things out of my mouth that are not true. You know, if I'm saying that Epson sued them, yeah, it's right there. Epson did sue them. You can look it up for yourself. They sued Valva because Valva came in and stated it was 6,000 lumens. I thought it was 5,000, 6,000 lumens, and they made this false statement. And Epson was like, no, buddy, you're not getting away with that crap at the end of the day. No, we're taking you to court. So guess what? This nonsense right here, this whole range gain bull crap. At the end of the day, yeah, I'll take you to court on this. But not only am I will be taking you to court on this nonsense, I'm getting the FBI involved because they have a fraud division of reporting your company. So, like I said, there's your option right there. Remove this. You make it from scratch. And remove that range gain off your site. And you're going to have to show test demonstrations on these products right here that you're claiming that they're real, but this is the only one I see, and I don't even see testing underneath this. As far as I'm concerned, when we paint this down for our testing, we're going to show a large group of tests to the courts that your product does not do exactly what it's supposed to do. Hopefully this thing, you better pray it doesn't change colors on me. Because if I ordered a black paint and that stuff comes out gray, you're going to have problems. If I order a gray paint and it comes out mid-gray, you're definitely going to have a problem. So I'm definitely going to report all that. So I'm going to test your stuff. Okay. Let me see. Well, at the end of the day, think about it, Danny. I mean, I test your stuff, and you deny it in court, and you say, no, that's not true. Well, do you have anything to back your theory that it's not true? Did you do any testing? Oh, you didn't, did you? Okay, then I'm the only test that you have on your product, right? Okay, there we go. See, I have years and years of testing on my technology. If they go back and ask, what is my experience in home theater projection screen paint? Man, my goodness, how far do I go back compared to you? Yeah, I have more knowledge than you do. I've been around a lot longer than you have. I can go back and show dates that go all the way back to 2010 and farther back than that. Farther back than that. I'm talking about stuff that you were never even around to begin with. So it shows that I have more experience. I'm an expert in my field. You're not. So there's no way in the world you would win anything in court at all, period. And I've given you the option already to challenge my company. And if you don't take me to court on that, and at the end of the day, you have nothing, no proof, no evidence at all to challenge me, well, guess what? You're screwed. All right, then. There you go. 3 days to remove this mess right here, because this has to go. You can't put that there because, again, it's getting you in a lot of trouble. You're going to have to, if this comes up and it's on that report, they're going to ask you some very serious questions. Questions at the end of the day, I probably should even know because I'm not a certified chemist at the end of the day. But yeah, they're going to ask you a lot of questions about how are you getting these chemicals, where are you getting them from, do you have proper license, do you have proper zoning, what background degree do you have in chemistry to be mixing these chemicals together. Right? These are raw elements. They're not over the counter, so it's a raw element. They're going to ask you all these questions. And you're going to sit there and say, well, I don't have any background or degree in all this. I just put this on the site to make myself sound more technical. And like, well, you can't do that because that's considered to be lying. That is considered to be fraud. There you go. See what I mean? Get yourself in trouble. Don't put things up there. This is why you test your stuff. You test all your stuff. So if someone challenges you and they take you to court, then you get back your stuff. See how I'm helping you out here in this? I'm going to try to explain this why I'm helping you out. I'm giving you the opportunity to take me to court. You know why you can't do it? Because I can back my stuff. You know why I can back my stuff? Because I tested all my stuff. I know the limitations of my products. There you go. That's what you should have did. There you go. See, that's where you messed up. Laziness. Laziness gets you nowhere. You should have got off your lazy behind and did the work. That's what you should have did. Did all the testing and everything that had to be done and back this stuff 100%. So if anything came up, like somebody like me or somebody else just like me or whatever, but then the day somebody wants to challenge you, you are already covered. You didn't cover yourself. That's what it is. All right, that's basically about it. So this one right here, I guess all these right here, because there's nothing underneath these. And we've gone to your site and looked for these and can't find them. And the range gain, yeah, you've got to get rid of that because that's not true, man. Also, too, this right here too, that needs to go here. Uh, you don't have any videos on this. I can't find anything on this. You claim that you did an installment here, and this is a lie. Can't have that there. You can't sit there and say from humble beginnings and then have this here with a lie attached to it. And again, you know, this is not a gymnasium. This is a church. So, you know, yeah, yeah, can't do all that. Look at all this stuff he puts up here. We don't even use any of this stuff. It's on purpose. This on the screen nonsense. You know how when this stuff was actually needed? It's when you had, this is the problem I educate you, Danny, because again, you don't know much about projection screens. You see this whole thing right here? This does not apply to a screen paint. You know why it doesn't apply to a screen paint? Because a screen paint should be able to pick up at any angle because it doesn't have the reflective surface that was plagued by the gunmetal screens, which had the reflective surface. So the reason why you had to have your projector in line, because if it was a little bit farther up or down, you would get these black areas around the screen, like these little black corners would pop up. So that's why I know about this, because when I was doing demonstrations, when we were in form sites, they were telling us to pick our projectors up off the floor because there's no way in the world we're going to get a proper viewing angle or image, a crystal clear image, and our image would become dark and we would actually suffer from a narrow viewing cone effect because the projector had to be in line with the screen. You ever notice when I take a certified screen and I had to tape it flat to the wall? Because if it leans up a little bit, it goes dark around the edges. So it has to lay perfectly flat. Same thing with the projector. The projector has to be in line with the screen, because if it's a little too high or low, what's going to happen is you're going to get these dark corners, and this is what they call narrow viewing cone effect. This does not apply to screen paints. So you should never have this on your site at all, period, because it doesn't apply to you. See, that's what I mean. At the end of the day, you don't know what you're doing. Yeah. You should be able to hit from any angle with no problem. That's why when you see me do demonstrations, when I was walking around in my house, you would see me look at the screen from the side, see the screen in the next room, walk all the way around, look up at the ceiling, look up at the floor. From any angle that I move, that screen will pick up. So you can put the projector anywhere you want, it won't affect it. This is only applied to basic screens to have narrow viewing cone effects. So you're the only ones affected by this. This is just whatever. All right, that's basically about it. We don't need to be here any longer. Yeah, just have this, and this done right here. That's it. So do I believe he's going to remove it? Nah. He's not going to do it. Then he's going to go down with the sinking ship. And I'm going to be the one to torpedo you. Yep, right through the side of your hull. Take you out. Because I know you at the end of the day. You guys have this real arrogant attitude, and you just don't remove it. Mind you, I don't even have to give you this at all, period. I can just go file against you right now. But I'm trying to give you the opportunity. But also, too, the opportunity that I'm giving to you will sink your ship, because I can show the court, say, hey, look, I made a YouTube video. I did give him the opportunity to remove it before I filed it, because I'm trying to give him a chance. And I am trying to give you a chance. So remove the stuff off your site that's not true. That way you're not misleading customers. Danny, so you can understand this. This is a perfect firestorm for a have not described PayPal complaint. If I buy your product, and I'm another customer, say I'm not somebody else. Okay? Hold on. Sorry. If I buy your product and I contact you and I say, hey buddy, how do we get this range gain? And you can't tell me. You can't tell me anything about it or how it works or anything at all. Then why would I keep your product? Because it's not as described. You lied to me at the end of the day. So I'm going to want my money back. I'm going to file a complaint against you. I'm going to file I have not described, because you can't back up something on your site that you claim to be. All right, then. That's the best thing right there. I would have moved it anyway, because it's going to put you in harm's way. But again, we're done with the video. This is it right here. Just right there, 3 days. Just remove the stuff off your site that you know is not true. I definitely would remove that stuff to come up made from scratch. You definitely want to remove that. That's a doozy for you. It's going to be a really big doozy for you, because a lot of questions are going to come up behind that, and they're going to shut your site down, and you're going to be under investigation for making hazmatic materials. So I wouldn't have that up there to begin at all, period. or they're going to have you basically try to explain what all that means to break it all down. Okay, that's basically about it. See you later. Gotta go.